First, let's make something crystal clear. I love Pro Tools. It's a blessing. It's amazing. However, at times when you're using Pro Tools, it will give you this feeling that today I'm going to show you 6 things to make your life better when you're using Pro Tools. Let's just get right into it. Let's go. Okay. These are a few things that just make my life so much better. I don't even honestly pay attention to the fact that I use them now, but I will say when I learned each of these things, it made an enormous impact in my workflow. So I'm going to open this session. The first thing I'm going to go over is going to be Windows configuration. Okay, so for me, working as an engineer, something that is crucially important is having everything organized. I need to know where everything is. I need to know what I have going on. I need to know everything about it, and it needs to be easily accessible, it needs to be efficient, and it needs to just be smooth. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just sort of clean up visual aesthetically what we're seeing in this session. We have our track window over here. It's just absurdly wide. We're gonna bring that in, make that sort of nice and clean. All right, this thing here, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's useful if you're like scoring stuff, but this is the least useful display. It's just chewing up screen space. Next thing, zoom view. This is something that you're going to be changing all the time. I'm just going to tell you the 2 keys I'm hitting the most aside from Command S are R and T. R, zoom out. T, zoom in. Single key commands. This is amazing. I use them all the time, and it's wonderful to be able to zoom in and out on the fly super fast. Oh, another key command here. This is great. This is not a key command video, but I'm just gonna let them fly as they come to my attention. Is going to be Option A. Option A is going to fit all of the clips in your edit window horizontally to fit in the screen. So if I'm zoomed in this far and I hit Option A, boom, I can now see everything in the project in one view. The next thing, the vertical equivalent, is going to be the 3-finger salute or Control Option Command down arrow. Hit that, 1, 2, 3, boom. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, so now I can see all of my tracks, all of my clips in one view here. Next thing, I am going to bring over this guy into view. Okay, so this is much better. This is going to be how I like my edit window to be. I don't need this. I would probably get rid of that, and then I would probably add our sends here. Okay, that would be crucial. You can add these by going in this little window here and choosing which elements you want to see, and then you can hide them by deselecting them, or you can hold Option and click and get rid of them. Okay, cool. So visually, this is how I like to see my edit window, maybe even a little bit more. There we go, save, and then I'm going to flip over to my mix window, Command equals. All right, my mix window is pretty good. I can see all my tracks. I can see my inserts and my first bucket of inserts, and I can see my first bucket of sends. Okay, and then we'll pull our track window out just a little bit on the mix side. All right, so now that everything is aesthetically pleasing to me, this is how I like all of my sessions to look, regardless of the session or the person or the client or whatever it is. I want to open it and have it look like this. And you'll notice the more often that you're working, the less you want to be dilly-dallying with dragging windows and actually recreating this aesthetic. So you can go up to your Windows menu and go to Configurations, hit New Configuration, and we will just title this My Favorite. Okay, and then that includes window layout, includes edit, mix, target, menu, all this stuff, and I'll hit OK. Boom. So the next time, if I pull the session open and it just looks wacky like this, I'm gonna go to Window Configurations, and I'm gonna go to Windows Configuration List and hit My Fave. Look at that, boom. Everything's back. As far as the tracks, I guess it doesn't do that. But as far as the window organization, it keeps everything exactly how I like it. The next thing, I wanted to show you how to optimize your playback engine. This is really important for when you are either recording or if you are mixing. The way that you have your playback engine optimized is going to depend on how much latency you get and how much processing power you get. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the playback engine, and as you can see, I have my interface selected here, and under settings, under your hardware buffer size, this is what you're going to be changing depending on whether or not you are recording or whether or not you are mixing. What this does is it essentially allocates processing power for Pro Tools. So if you are recording, you are going to want to allocate less processing power so that you have a lower latency. What that means is when you're recording, you have somebody on the mic, or if you're on the mic, when you actually sing or hit your guitar or drum, the time between when you make that initial hit and when you hear it in your headphones, you want that to almost be the exact same, or you do want it to be the exact same. And the way you achieve that is by having the lowest hardware buffer rate that you can have. So when you're recording, you will pull this up, go to the settings, and just lower it as much as possible, and then you hit OK. Now, if you have a lot of plugins, you may need to disable some of your plugins in order for this to work. That's fine. Just do that while you're tracking, and that way you have a happier singer or a happier player out in the room, and then you can get a great performance with the click, and there's no time issues or no headphone nonsense. Nobody wants to deal with that. Okay, now, if you are mixing and you're using a bunch of plugins and you're doing, Pro Tools is doing a lot of processing, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to open up the same playback engine window, go into settings, and you're going to want to allocate the buffer rate to be higher. So I usually ride with 1024 samples. The sample size that you can increase it to is going to depend on your computer and your interface and your rig and all of that. The higher it is, the more processing that your computer is going to be able to do. And then you hit OK, and you're ready to go. Next, okay, this is super cool. So what we're gonna do here is, in this session, you can see I have all instruments. We've got drums, electric guitars, bass, acoustic guitar, and some percussion. All right, so now we're gonna talk about stacking tracks, specifically with vocals. I'm going to create, let's say, 5 audio tracks, 1 lead record track, 1 vocal lead comp track, and then I'm gonna do 3 background tracks, and I'm gonna pan them left, center, and right. I'm also going to add 3 auxiliary tracks. 1 is going to be for my lead vocals, 2 is going to be for my background vocals, and 3 is going to be for any sort of auxiliary or ad-lib vocals. That's just going to make it easier so I can control the levels and the sonic quality of each of those groups individually, so I don't have to have 9 million plugins going. Okay, add those. So now I have my vocal record track, I have my vocal lead comp track, and then I have my 3 stacks. So if you've ever worked with vocalists like I have, the way that you'll do it is you'll have a lead most of the time, and then you'll do some backgrounds. If this is a pop session, you're gonna have the whole alphabet in background tracks. So you're gonna have, you know, left, center, right for an A harmony, a B harmony, a C harmony, a double, a triple, etc., etc., etc. It's gonna be just vocal town. Now that I have my tracks, if they're like, oh, can you give me another harmony? The quickest way to do that is you're gonna select your stack, you're gonna right click, and you're gonna hit duplicate. And then I would actually just do, let's say, 2 more layers, because you just never know. Then I'm gonna choose which data I wanna duplicate. I don't wanna include any of the playlists I already have, any of the automation. I may or may not want the inserts and sends and groups. I don't want the group, so I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna hit OK. All right, so now you can see my duplicates. The names are all screwed up, the colors are all screwed up. So I'm gonna, first off, change the colors. All right, so we'll just change this to B, BGL. This will be B, BG, C. Okay, so now we have that. All of our levels are the same, and all of our pans are exactly how we like them. Now I'm gonna group them, select them, Command G, and this will be B, BG. Okay, so now I have my B group grouped. and this will be C, BJ. Okay, great. So now I can go through and I can stack all of these vocals. So the reason I have the record track like this and then the lead vocal comp, and you're recording a section, let's say you're doing the intro. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep all of the takes on my vocal track here. And then when we get the part that we like, I can playlist it. I'm going to take the specific take that we like the most, and I'm going to drag it down to the according track. So our vocal lead, maybe there. If we're doing harmonies, I'll record it here so that they're hearing it exactly how they like to hear it in their headphones. You know, it's going to be the correct level, it's going to be panned right up the middle, and then when we get that background, I'll just drag it down to the according part. And then, as you can see, it's already panned, it's at the correct level so that you can move on to the next stack. Cool. So that's how I stack tracks. That's how I like things to be organized so that we can just slam through some vocals and everything is organized. I can see, okay, we have our A harmony, our B harmony. You can also label them high, low, mid, double, whatever works for you as far as the labeling. Next, labeling playlists. In Pro Tools, it can be a little bit confusing, and this is such a simple way to do it that just makes your life so much easier if you're doing a lot of takes and you want to be able to comp. Okay, so you do one take, you're going to want a new playlist. I typically go with duplicate if we're on one section. Before you get going, if you know you're going to be doing multiple takes, what I will do is I will actually hit duplicate. The quick command is Control Command / or backslash. I'm not really sure. It's the one above the return key. Vocal intro. I'll label the section, and then I will do .01. So that will be vocal intro take 1. You hit OK. You record it. And you stop. You have that. Now you're going to do another take of the same thing. You just hit duplicate again, and it changes it to take 2. So the purpose of this is so that when you go back to comp, you can pull up your playlist button here, and you can say, okay, we have 2 or 3 takes of the intro, and you can just click on take 1, listen to that, click on take 2, listen to that. It's just nice to have things organized so that you know what's going on. And then, you know, when you switch sections, let's say you go to vocal chorus take 1, same thing, vocal chorus .01, jump over the chorus, record, same thing, get it. Next, this is a cool one. When you are mixing, or let's say you're recording and you are doing some sort of, let's say it's a separate output for my headphone mix. Let's say I need to send all of these to your output. So let's pick an output here. Let's choose 5.6. All right, so all of these are assigned to output 5.6. So check this out. Pro Tools has a feature that's sort of less known. This is an awesome one if you are doing a ton of tracks and you need to send a submix of them somewhere else and you don't have all your auxes set up yet. This is awesome. So if you look at your faders, you have all your levels set and all your pans set, and you want that to be reflected in how you're sending them. Right now, it's all the levels are down and the pans are right up the middle. Obviously, that's no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Option Command H. And this is going to bring up a window that's called Copy to Send. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Current Value. It's already selected, and then it's going to say from volume, and you can choose volume, pan, and mute. So I'm going to choose volume and pan, and then you choose which send you are going to send that data to. So this is send A, B, C, D, E. So I'm going to go ahead and select E, and then I'm going to hit OK, and watch this. Boom. Now my send levels and pan reflect my mix balances and pans for all of the tracks that I have selected. How dope is that? Okay, next, you finish this, everything, you basically have your balance, you know, your workflow, everything how you like it, and now you're gonna start on song 2. Okay, so what I'm gonna show you, this is amazing, I love using this. There's 2 ways to do this. You can either save this as a template, or you can create the new session and import the session data. First one, save as a template. Okay, now we're gonna go to save as template. You pick the category where you wanna save it. I'm just gonna choose music, and we're gonna call this song's called Summertime, so we'll call this Summertime Demo Template, right? Okay, hit OK. So now this has been saved as its own template. So I can close this session, and I can go to create a new session. And instead of starting from scratch, I'm going to hit create from template. and I'm in my music tab, and I go down here and I can see my summertime demo template. I hit create, boom, boom, Bob's your uncle, and look at this. It's all ready to go. You have all your tracks. I mean, this is the way to do it, because now you don't have to worry about any of the data coming along with it. Okay, so now you can start tracking from scratch on song number 2 for this project. Fantastic. The other way to do this is session data import. So we'll close this, create a new session from scratch. Let's say I don't need all of that, and we're gonna call this fun song, right? And so I'm gonna deselect create from template, hit create. This is going to include nothing, okay? So I'm going to do session data import, and again, you should be using key commands for everything, because if you're using your mouse dragging and clicking on menus, you're just wasting time. Shift, Option I, boom. So we're gonna go ahead and find our session that we are gonna pull this in from. Found it, we're gonna choose the Pro Tools session file that we wanna import the data from, hit okay. And in this little window that comes up, you can see all of the tracks that are inside this session. Let's say you don't need everything. I'm just going to choose what I need. Master fader, let's just say we're gonna do drums for now. And now what you wanna do is you wanna specify what data from these tracks you wanna import. You can choose to import the audio, the playlists, or you can choose do not import. I'm gonna select that. You can actually just customize it to import whatever data that you want. I'm gonna leave all of that how it is, hit okay, boom. All of my drum tracks ready to go. I can start recording drums, and boom, all of my drum tracks are now set up, labeled, have my balance, my mix, my plugins, everything exactly how I want them within, I don't know, 5 seconds of opening and creating a new session. So there you have it. You have my 6 tricks, hacks, tips, fun things that will make your life infinitely better when you're working in Pro Tools. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just Playback Engine, Windows configuration, stacking tracks, playlist labeling, copy to send, save as template, session data import. But I don't know how many it is, but hopefully it helps you. Do me a big favor, hit the like button. If you are not already, smash that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell so you can see the next time I upload a video. And if you do use Instagram, jump over there and follow me at, what is it, ANDREWMASTERS Music? I guess that's this channel, right? Yeah, just go over there, follow me on Instagram, and let's be friends. Also, if you have any cool ideas that you want to see, leave them down in the comments below and let me know, and I'll make a cool video for you. And yeah, let's have a nice little conversation. I wonder if I forgot anything. I remember learning stacking tracks. We were doing an orchestra session in LA at East West, and Jeremy Miller, Jeremy, bro, thank you so much. The session data, and actually I learned a lot of these from Jeremy. Jeremy is the man. High pressure sessions, when you got a lot of people waiting on you and a lot of money on the line, you want to know these. They're just gonna make you look like really good. My